All right, beautiful people. Today we're going to be learning about MCPs, how to build one, and what to use them for. If you've been living under a rock, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's a term coined by Anthropic. They're basically tools for AI. I would just forget the word MCP and think tools for AI every time you read that. You can use any kind of AI in the background. They're standardized and modular. You can interface with them in a bunch of different apps in a really powerful way, usually to hook together a bunch of different APIs or apps. So in one interface, you could have an MCP that goes to your Slack channel, looks for recent messages, and then an MCP that goes to Gmail or to GitHub. So you could ask it to pull something from Slack and put that into Gmail, or pull something from your code base and write an email. There's lots of different ways to do it. But the cool thing is, anytime there's an API, you could make your own MCP if one doesn't exist, or you could improve on an existing one. And we're going to use Memex for that. Memex is a Mac OS app. It's basically a way to start coding projects. So you can build React sites, you can build servers, you can build entire apps, but we're going to use it to build MCPs. It's really good at that. And then we're going to just go ahead and interface with them directly here. So let's go poke around real quick. So if you go into settings here, you can see my MCPs. I have Hacker News and Playwright installed. Let's remove this just so I can show you guys. So they've got a server directory of existing MCPs. And I really like this because it makes it simple. It takes 2 steps. You can see they have GitHub, Slack, Netlify, Playwright, Neon. And maybe so you get an idea, I could just tell you what these things do. This obviously lets you get into GitHub to access code. Slack lets it go in like a user in Slack, which is great, super useful. Netlify you could use to deploy sites. Playwright is like a headless browser. So we're going to just test Playwright real quick. Accept, install. Yep, there it is, Playwright. And so it's got 25 tools. So we can see everything that we can do, or that the AI can now do. You can take screenshots. That's cool. I didn't even know that. So let's just go ahead and ask, using the Playwright MCP, find me some fun local events going on this summer in Washington, D.C. All right, cool. Look at that. That's unbelievable. So I should have specified 2025, but it's so cool because you'd pay $200 a month for the OpenAI operator to do the same thing, install that and set it up in like 10 seconds. Let me check. I forgot the pricing. Yeah, so you can get started for $0 a month. You could do the $10 a month and $40. So a really great way to get started with OpenAI tools for cheap. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, it's listing. Great. All right, and then the other thing I like about Memex is it's not a code editor, so it doesn't have like this code view like you would see in Cursor. So it's for starting projects. It can edit code and it can run MCP servers like you just saw. And it probably can do a bunch of other things. We're going to play around and see. Let's kind of define what we're going to do here. I've got this website that I have an account on, Datagolf.com, that pulls in all these data points for professional golf. You can find out like any stat and it'll live model who's going to win a tournament over time. It can help you place better bets, can help you do daily fantasy. So what I want to do is take this API and set up some tools for our MCP agent to use so that we can interact with the data. I think what we'll do is do something kind of simple, like I want to set up tools to access draft odds and tools to look at recent player performance. So we're going to pretty much build a tool that's going to say, look at recent player performance, look at their fit on the course this weekend, and then find us some good bets, right? Because Datagolf's great, but you kind of got to poke around. So it would be nice to have that in a chat interface. Build me an MCP server to access the data in datagolf.com. I'll paste in the API instructions. We want the tool to be able to look up all the data points about betting, player performance, tournament scores, and the PGA schedule. Write me a plan and suggest some tools and ask me if you have any questions. So let's just see what happens. It should be able to browse the internet. Maybe let's start with chat. Well, let's just stay and build and see what happens. All right, go. All right, so now it's going to go on my local machine and actually create a repository, which is really nice. Okay, cool. So it's going to the site. All right, it's building a plan. Extract text from a URL. I want to just make sure it has all these endpoints. So we're going to extract this. Great. I've pasted in the full text from the documentation just so you're sure of all the endpoints. Okay, it's creating the project. Let's see. So it's running terminal commands on my behalf, scaffolding it out. And so maybe what we'll do is we'll go find this folder in Cursor real quick so we can see the code. Let's get that file location, users Billy workspace. Okay, Datagolf, great. And it's usually going to use Python to use these tools. Python's really good for accessing data, transforming data. Basically, like Python, like can get anything done. But it can be kind of messy to manage if you're not really great at coding. Manage, setting up a Python kernel, maybe starting a Jupyter notebook. There's all these things. So it's really great that you can just wrap all of this and have Memex worry about running it and managing it. Okay. I wonder if it's going to know where to put my key. It'll probably make it .env. Add API key. Okay. All right. It has error messages. Okay. Here's the list of tools. Get player lists, get tour schedule, get field updates, get rankings, pre-tournament predictions. Wow. Okay. So it's putting all of those endpoints in there. That's really cool. An example usage script. Okay. Let's go grab that key actually. It is doing Git for me, which is great for version management. Okay, great. It's telling me exactly where to put this. Is there a .env? Put the key in. So I'm not sure I want to do it this way. Well, hopefully we didn't just break it. This might have automatically done what I just asked it to do. I've never used that export though before. Don't think we have a .env yet. env.example. Okay, great. I put that key in. Really wish you could re-roll keys on Datagolf. But I don't think you can. So we may need to edit that out. Put the key in the .env. Please try using the MCP to pull the top 10 ranked golfers in the world on the PGA. Okay, so let's check. Did it really just do this? Whoa, wait, no way. Okay, it started the server. And then it ran this. Okay, get rankings, retrieved rankings. Oh yeah, here it is. Whoa. This was so easy. I thought this was going to be a 45-minute video. Okay. Can you pull in the next PGA tournament? Today's June 30th, 2025, and find the odds of the players most likely to win it. Use the MCP to look up and summarize their recent performance and let me know if any of the odds are plus EV bets. And so next, I think I would install like Google Sheets MCP. And so whenever I have questions like this, it could just go put it in that sheet. I think we could probably modify this MCP to spit out a CSV, but then we would have to go manually upload it. The Google Sheets MCP may be a little complicated because we'd have to set up a Google Cloud project, which I haven't done. But I think maybe we could use Playwright for that. So maybe we'll try that. I wonder if Playwright can type. Datagolf MCP. And let's share. Oops. Share with others. Anyone with link can edit. Okay. I want to see that. I forget what publishing to web does. Huh. Okay, so it found a problem with how it originally set up the MCP, and now it's automatically fixing it. Whoa. Okay. Wow. Okay, so these are off by a substantial magnitude, I would say. Oh, okay. Right. Duh. Okay, so these are like, I don't know why they would have decimals, but I would think this is like plus 1800, plus 3300. That's strange. I do wish we could see those API calls. These are percentages. Okay. Those odds don't make sense to me. We're using sports bet odds, so it should be like plus 1200 or minus 110 or something like that. Let's stick with that. And then you can use those percentages to check the model predictions. You can convert in the backend so that you can compare, but can you make these more approachable for me to use? Why 10%? Okay, so let's look at Davis Thompson. So, oh, it's John Deere Classic. Davis. Okay. Whoa, that's cool. Wow, strong approach play. Okay, yeah. Looks like he's had a good 2025. Maybe not. I don't think he has any wins recently. Underperforming on putting. That's interesting that they pulled this. So I think we could improve on it more and kind of like tell it our betting thesis and build that into the MCP. Great. Can you use Playwright to that table to the Google sheet that I've linked here? Let's make sure. Playwright MCP. Let's see what it said. No recommended bets. DraftKings odds are extremely close to Datagolf's fair value calculations. Only 0.1% edge found. This is an example of one where you probably need to use the real MCP so it understands how to use an interface with the spreadsheet. I don't know if the Playwright MCP can enter text, but I guess we'll see. It's going slowly. There. Look at that. Wow. So this is great for any kind of like manual task you need to do. So like if you have a system where you're looking at people who are good bets after the first day of a tournament, you could just come in here and tell it to do it instead. Be like, look for people who are long off the tee, but are underperforming on putting, have a good history of performance at this course. Just have it do it. You know, you could do this for arbitrage on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. I should try this for Pokemon cards. I always check like these Japanese auction sites and look for deals compared to eBay, but it's a really annoying process. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that next. I do think it would be more efficient to have it just generate a CSV and then in Playwright come in here and click import the CSV. But here's what they're doing. Okay, anyways, I wanted to look at its thesis here. Market is very sharp. Yes, they are. Ben Griffin, fairly priced, no value. Yep, here, wait for the tournament to start and bet based on early performance. Okay, so you can see Memex will pause after it reaches your limit that you can set. So we're just going to hit resume. I like that it calls it turns. Like that just makes sense. I feel like there's not a standardized word for that in any other platform I've used. And I think if this was like a workflow that I was going to use regularly instead of having it do it in chat every time. Like once I find like a little system that I like, I would say, okay, now within the MCP project that we just made for Datagolf, I'll create a script that will take those outputs and just insert it into the sheet automatically, because we don't really need AI to go in and do this, right? We can write a script that goes and does it for us and Playwright. No value. That's cool. Okay. Try looking at odds to make the cut. Let me know if you find any value there. Let me know if there's any potential positive EV parlays for making the cut. Making the cut is basically the top 60 golfers after 2 days at a tournament get to play in the final 2 days. And so based on how the whole field is playing, the cut line is set at a certain score. And so if you're on that score, you get to play, including ties. So it could be over 60. If you're below that cut line, you're done for the weekend. And you can bet on that. You can bet on like all sorts of little things in golf. I'm not like a betting sicko, but, and I know like it's hard to find an edge, but a lot of people like to live bet. So like in golf, for example, like if you see someone like hit a good shot or you're like, he's going to make this putt, quickly go in, place a bet on them. Either make the shot, or if you think like, oh, he's definitely going to get an eagle this hole, and that can move him up the leaderboard to then make the top 5 or something. You could make that top 5 bet, but it's clunky and takes forever to scroll around like in the sportsbook apps and websites. You could probably set up an MCP to just have it do it for you. So you could sit here while you're watching and type on your computer and be like, okay, place this bet for $10 on Morikawa. course, that would be kind of dangerous to entrust the AI with your money, so I wouldn't recommend. And so, like, to kind of summarize kind of what to do next here with MCPs, they really start to get powerful when you combine them, right? So like this golf one and Google Sheets combined, like I said, like Facebook Marketplace and eBay for arbitrage. When they're standalone, you may be underwhelmed because it's kind of just like talking to ChatGPT and you're like, why do I need this? But it's when it can pull lots of stuff together for you that you can create really powerful workflows. I can see this being really useful for just a work context, checking my calendar, checking my emails. Hey, set up this meeting and create a meeting agenda and add it to the event. Pull like the most recent data from the email to write the agenda. No value. Market efficiency extremely high. And so what you could do is, I think once you kind of develop a workflow that you like this, you could then turn that MCP in, or a combination of MCPs into a product by creating your own front end, probably in Memex. Just make like a React app that interfaces with those servers and then have Memex deploy it all for you. And you could have a web app where someone goes in and is able to use multiple tools at once. So that could be really powerful. Okay, and as a little bonus, I just want a site that pulls all the text from these docs, because I do this a lot. I have to extract the text from these docs to paste into AIs. A lot of them can browse, but some might not do a good job at ingesting all the text. So maybe let's just build a tool for that real quick. Build me a simple web app that allows you to paste in the URL of a docs, because you could almost make one that just builds MCPs for people. We're getting really into the matrix here, galaxy brain. Build me a simple web page where you paste in a URL and it extracts all the text. We'll be using this to extract text from API documentation, so then we can feed it into an AI project. Okay, so as you can see, this is kind of the same workflow we use to make an MCP. We're just doing the same thing and build in the chat. It's going to go in and do the same thing. So maybe let's go back. You can see this being built out. The other advantage I think of Memex is it's really good for creating these Python tools, and Python's just really useful for building tools for the internet, right? Versus a lot of other AI coding, especially the cloud-based ones, are more focused on like React websites. So it's just a different stack. And like I said, Python can be kind of confusing. So I really like that Memex just abstracts all the confusing stuff away. And you could probably do the same thing in Cursor, but I think it would take longer and you would be dealing with dependency stuff, installing a Python kernel, starting it up. So I really like what they've built. All right, it's going to test it. I wonder if it's using that Playwright MCP right now. Oh, this is crazy. Let's stop this. Okay, we just stopped it. I wonder if the server is running. Okay, look, it's a localhost 8000. Start the server for me and I'll manually test it. Don't do it yourself. Oh, there it is. Boom. That's so clean. I did it so quickly. The other cool thing I did is I had to build a tool that downloads MP3s from SoundCloud, because that's like a pain when you're trying to download music from there. So this is a really nice way to just kind of modularize and like interact with apps and tools and chat instead of having to go in to like a terminal session, run apps. You could just kind of do all this like via chat, like voice first. So, all right, to wrap up, this is kind of a quick crash course in MCPs and Memex. Go give Memex a try. Like I said, they have a free plan, build plan, and a scale plan, Memex.tech. And if you go into the bio, you can use my code to get a discount and get, I believe, a free trial. So definitely check that out. Comment if you're confused about what MCPs are. Comment what kind of MCP I should build next and what you want to build, right? I'd love to hear what you guys are building. Thank you guys. Signing off.